What's up, guys? It's your boy from Madden.com, and today we're going to talk about all of the meta blitzes that were mentioned in the patch notes yesterday. So if you didn't see the patch notes, one of the biggest points of emphasis was how the offensive line blocks some of these meta blitzes. So 4-3 even 6-1, nickel over, nickel 3-3, and dollar. All of those were mentioned by name and were one of the main points of the title update. So we're going to talk about how each of them kind of behaves now after the patch, if they're usable or not, and then we'll go from there. So let's get right into it. The first blitz that I'm going to talk about is going to be Samuel Blitz out of 4-3 even 6-1. This blitz was quite the headache to deal with before the patch, but now it does behave quite a bit differently. Now, before I get into the full breakdown of this entire video, just want to let you guys know that I did drop my full match coverage deep dive on acemadden.com last weekend. I cover every single match coverage in the game and how it works, all of the logic that goes into the programming of how the coverages work, and then I'll also be updating it to include how to adjust your match to defend meta formations like bunch and trips and all that kind of good stuff. So just go to acemadden.com, become a member. You'll gain access to all of our ebooks, including that match deep dive, and you guys will definitely start winning more games. Okay, so the setup that I was personally running, it might not be optimal. I don't know. I don't actually use 4-3 even 6-1 as a base formation. But I was just pressing, blitzing my user, and just hovering somewhere in here and just trying to confuse the center. And what was happening in the past was the center would be kind of distracted by your user, which would leave both of these edge defenders coming in free versus an unblocked running back. And if they blocked the running back, what was happening was one of them was still coming in because of the fact they were distracting the center. But after the patch, the center is smarter. The blitz still is going to work sometimes, but it's just worse because the center is going to sometimes disregard your user and help on one of those defensive tackles. So let's go ahead and run it versus an unblocked running back. You're going to see both these guys still come in clean. One should be coming in clean because we're sending 6 versus 5. So 1 coming in is normal. 2 is actually not normal. And that's because in that case, I do believe the center did get confused by our user. Just like that. So where this gets different, in my opinion, is when you start blocking a running back. That is where it gets quite a bit different because we now have 3 guys on each side, technically. So think about it like this. We have the running back. We have, I can't highlight him because it's not a run play, but the right tackle and the right guard. That makes up 3. And then we have the center, the left guard, and the left tackle to focus on the 3 defenders on the other side of the field. And we still have the user, and hopefully, the goal is to distract the center, but the center is actually going to help on the left side quite a bit. So just like that, the blitz gets picked up by the blocked running back. So we now are doing 6-on-6. Like I said, we have these 3 guys worried about this side. We have these 3 guys. Notice how the center, he ignores the user and he helps on this defensive tackle. And just like that, 4-3 even 6-1 got nerfed. It is quite a bit worse now. It was really, really hard to pick up before. You had a unblocked rusher versus just a blocked running back. Coming up with a pass protection versus that was really, really hard. And then they had edge threats and double or nothings. So everything in tandem just made this formation kind of a nightmare to pass against, at least versus somebody who knows what they're doing. So one more time, block the running back. In this case, look what happens. This was actually a different result. You're going to see that the center helps on the right side. And that means the running back is clear to go help and cross block on the left side. So a blocked running back, we're not even doing anything special. We're not IDing. We're not doing any of that. We're just blocking the running back. And then you'll see if, you're like, I'm sick of this. I want to engage with the center and get my free rusher. Well, you're just going to run through the offensive line. So I'll show you. I tried tapping the center. You're going to see we run through. Running back recognizes us. And then when we peel back, he says, okay, recovers, helps on that edge defender. So that's actually really good blocking and really smart blocking by this running back. Really good awareness. Vita Vea still, pushes our guy back and gets the sack, but the fact is the pass protection is a lot better versus this formation. So Overall, I would say 4-3, even 6-1 is definitely worse than it was yesterday, or before the patch, I should say. And, you know, you're going to see less people using it for sure. The next blitz we're going to talk about is going to be Overstorm Brave out of nickel over, and this blitz is quite a bit different than it was before the patch. So, Overstorm Brave against trips tight end again. And the setup was just pinch your defense, and then you would find the player that's manned up to the running back, usually a safety, and then you would take him, and then you would hover him in a gap. So you can move him like right here, or if you're worried about a table route or something, or a wheel, you can hover him right here. And, you know, what was happening was one of these edge defenders, if not both, would just come in free. The offensive line had absolutely no idea how to handle this blitz. And what you're going to see now is that it's a lot better. So what you're going to see, it's a 6-man blitz. So of course, 1 man is going to come free. Like, that's not abnormal. We're blocking 5. They're sending 6. They have a +1 advantage. Well, look what happens now with these edge defenders. So he did like this like weird little stutter step over here. And that's like kind of their way of like trying to let the tackle recover. And I don't think that's like the best fix in the world. But it's probably the best one they had for now. And then the tackles in general are just going to do a better job at picking up edge defenders with this kind of look, this kind of pinched mug look. So if you look at this blitz versus a blocked running back, so 6v6, what you're going to see is that it is now just pretty much completely picked up right there. And I guess it did come in through the from the linebacker. But you could probably mess around with some basic pass protections and get that fixed up. But let's just check it again. So right there, it gets picked up. And the blitz is just super inconsistent now. It's honestly not even worth using. If you can just block a simple running back and pick this kind of blitz up, at that point, it's kind of the death of it, in my opinion. Right there, as you can see, everything just got picked up. And all I did was block my running back. So overall, at least this setup is kind of dead. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the formation's dead, because I do have a blitz out of this that I'm still using and it works really well. But this kind of Overstorm, just basic pinch look, no crashes, no anything, it gets picked up relatively easily now. And then, like I said, they did add that little stutter step whenever the edge defender has a free release off the line, and that's just going to make him get picked up a little easier. So that is how Overstorm Brave looks now. The next formation is going to be nickel 3-3. This was something that has been around since the beginning of the year. You know, the loop blitz out of linebacker blitz 0, and it is now officially dead. The reason for that is they made it so your second level defenders cannot be uncontained. So as you can see, this guy, he's on a blitz angle now, and the defensive ends are the ones that are going to be uncontained. Now, if you think that you can just pinch your defensive line and then change that, that is not the case. You can even spread your linebackers, get them outside those contains, and that is not going to change. This guy still comes in, I guess. Oh, well, we sent 6, so that's why. So yeah, you can't do the loop blitz anymore because these guys just aren't uncontained. So I don't think there's a way around that. There might be. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody's in the lab right now working on something to get these guys on contains. I just don't think it's possible. If they take out something in a game like that where they say you can't contain your second level defender, it's usually pretty universal. So I'm not saying 3-3 is dead. I'm saying that loop blitz is dead. And we'll see very soon if somebody comes up with something that is usable out of 3-3. Last but not least, we have dollar, which is the formation I consider to be pretty much the same post-patch. People might disagree with me. I'm going to show you why it's pretty much the same. They did mention it in the patch notes, more specifically spinner. I'll be talking about DB Fire 2. It's the same stuff. I just don't want to have to make all the different adjustments with my linebackers. So I'm going to do DB Fire 2. And I'm going to baseline press. And this was kind of like the standard way to use the blitzes out of this formation. And when you base align, you just kind of ensure that your slot cornerbacks are going to be in the same position every single time. And that gives you a level of consistency. And then some people would blitz their user and then just kind of hover here and then drop into coverage. So I'm going to do different variations of this. I'm going to show you versus send 5. And then I'll also show you versus block running back. And then I'll also do send 4 or blitz 4 versus a block running back as well. So let's go ahead and send this. As you can see, double-edged pressure. The double-edged won't come in every single time. But as you can see, you know, the guy who's really going to be coming in is that trip side slot cornerback. He's going to be the one that he comes in like every single time. And I'm not doing anything with my pass protection. You know, I'm not IDing, I'm not sliding, I'm not doing any of that. This is just against stock pass protection. But at the same time, it's behaving the same as before the patch. So there's no need for all of that. So that was send 5 versus, or blitz 5 versus send 5 out. So we'll block the running back now versus this blitz 5. And we'll see what happens. You're going to see now it is a lot better when they block the running back. So go to instant replay. You're going to see that the left tackle and the left guard just get really wide and do a really good job here of making sure that we can't get that free rusher. But that's not going to happen every single time. So do it again. Stand like right here. As you can see, that guy still comes in. And I think I just had a kind of a bad hover last time. I'll do it again just for consistency's sake. Look at it again. As you can see, boom, comes in. Now, where it gets different is when you start doing the send 4. Now, the send 4 from the trip side is still really, really good. So we'll do, we'll man up the running back, and we'll do it like this. And I'll show you, they send the running back out. You are most of the time going to still get that trip side slot cornerback coming in. Do it again. Blitz this guy. Send everybody out again. As you can see, that guy comes in. So it's pretty much the same as it was. There's really no big difference here with dollar. It's not going to get picked up by the tackle every single time, like some people have said. And then if they block the running back, if you're sending the blitz from the opposite side of the running back, what's going to happen is sometimes he's still going to come in. In that case, he got distracted by the edge threat and he wasn't able to pick up the slot cornerback. Sometimes he will cross block, sometimes he won't. But where it can be different is sometimes when you send the send 4 from the other side, from the running back side, what you're going to see is it can get picked up by the right tackle. So it's kind of like that would come in sometimes. I'm not saying that came in every single time, but it was just another way to blitz from. And now I just don't think you want to do that as much. So even if we do, man that guy up or whatever, do it again. As you can see, the right tackle gets out every single time. And that's going to remain this very consistent. So you don't have to send it from that side, just send it from the trip side, and you'll be good to go. So that's pretty much the breakdown of all of the meta blitzes. Dollar is the least different. I would say that, it's really consistent with the slot cornerback blitzes. They've done a lot better of a job at picking up the pinched looks, the mug looks, and just kind of like making things a little bit more chaotic, making players run into each other, not going on their like proper angles, adding stutter steps. They've done a lot of different things to help slow down these pass rushes out of these mug looks. So these kind of looks right here where we're kind of just edging or not edging, blitzing off the edge are still going to be fine from what I've seen. So any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. And if you guys want to win more games, acemadden.com, become a member. You'll gain access to every single ebook we put out already. They're all very detailed, more detailed than our YouTube videos. And you guys will definitely start winning more games. Just use code ACE for 15% off at checkout. I'll see you guys tomorrow.